Vishal, and I'm Miss of National Movie is the director, planning at Royal Canin, India. He comes with over 16 years of FMCG and pet care experience across world-class organizations like Care, Colgate, Palmolive, and now Mars. His rich experience spans across the reputed organizations over the years. Thank you for joining us, sir. I would like to call on stage Miss Kriti Reddy, co-founder of Pet Warehouse. With over 20 years of experience and after a successful journey as the co-founder of India's leading design studio, Volleyball, Kriti joined Pet Warehouse, a chain of pet food accessory stores based in Bangalore, India. Driven by passion, we invested on this she has to offer today. Thank you for joining us. I would like to call on stage Mr. Mayank Satija, partner at Pet Warehouse. Mayank's sincerity in his work is rooted in his love for pets with years of experience in the pet industry. With over 600 SKUs under his brand, he is dedicated to offering quality products and services that promote pet health and happiness. Believing every pet deserves the best, he commits to introducing innovative solutions and amplify the industry. And lastly, I would like to invite Mr. Roshen experienced sales and marketing specialist with over a decade of experience and exceptional performance across diverse regions in India over a decade of time. We're really excited to have you all. Thank you for joining us. So I request the moderator to take over.
Please settle in. Really passionate discussion that we just saw from the previous panel. I think all of us love the category. I especially particularly loved what Varghese said. I could have been so much easier if we were directly pets. I think. So on that note, welcoming all of you. Pet category is growing at a phenomenal pace. Today and strong behavior, all of us are excited. And we have this elite panel to tell us great things. Diverse. We have second generation. So I think without much ado, I'll start off. Hear from all of them. So maybe we first start with Roshen. Take a view on how are brands looking at pet specialty retail today, and the whole channel. We also know that there's been a lot of evolution. So what's your take?
Good morning all. Thanks Vishal, and thanks to the organizing committee and to my co-panelists and to everybody present here. It's been a really evolving scenario in the retail space landscape, what we see in the pet industry over the years. As from a brand's perspective, what we look forward is to ultimately give a very seamless shopping experience to our pet parents. Now, if I have to maybe break it down to channel-wise, what the brand's perspective is, maybe starting with omni-channel, which has been the talk of the town of late. So how do brands, what we do, especially is how to integrate technologies and system to fundamentally, most importantly, to ensure there is a unified inventory system, which is at most critical for this channel. So how is the latest technologies and systems in the supply chain space utilized so that when we partner with the omni-channel brands and stakeholders to ensure that there's no overstocking, at the same time there's no stockout scenarios, and supporting them in those lanes. That's number one. Second aspect when I think about omni-channel is something which you're mulling at, something which is already happening in other industries is how do I enable, let's say Vishal, a cross-channel promotion or a strategy. For instance, let's say you're getting back from work and you go to one of their apps or websites and you pick up whatever, let's say Drools product for your pup, and you get a pickup option with one of their stores which is on the way. And where I can collaborate with them is when I have a promoter or some sort of merchandiser to facilitate the entire process per se. So these are a couple of angles in which I see omni-channel where we involve. E-commerce, as you know, has been evolving in India rapidly. When it comes to an e-com space, what we see is fundamentally we should have a very clean, neat, user-friendly websites, right? We already have the Amazons and FKs of the world, but we also collaborate with them in our JBP meetings, and speak to them saying that the entire journey of a potential pet parent who is coming to the platform or the website has to be very seamless, right from product identification, navigation, till the checkout space per se. So if there are some hiccups, how do we address it together? That's one aspect. Second, especially in e-com, we get a lot of data per se. So how do we utilize these data to ensure pet parents get more of targeted marketing and customization for the next recurring times when they are on the platforms? So that's something which we look at. Thirdly, let's say if I am stuck to a particular, I'm an Amazonian as they call themselves. So how do I bring in loyalty to these sort of customers? So where I can involve from a subscription model per se, I can collaborate with these channels and platforms is something which we actively do. So see, like as we all know of the brand funnel, it's relatively easier to develop the consideration, awareness, and purchase. But the tougher part is to bring in that loyalty and advocacy, right? So those are the elements in from an omni-channel and e-com. I'll not take much time. Maybe I'll just quickly touch upon the age-old. I would still believe the backbone of the industry, which is the physical stores. What we have seen off late, maybe the post-COVID era or the last 5 to 6 years, is that how experiential retail has been increasing in India, right? So maybe let me take you back to the early 2010s or the 11s, where in which you had a physical store with limited number of brands, all just placed stuck together. The pet parent knows what to buy or is forced to buy based on the recommendation of the outlet. But now, especially with Gen Zs and the newer generation of first-time pet parents, what we see is that they would want to have that experiential feeling of a store, rather than just going in and just picking up a product and moving out. They want to explore the store. So we have done an exercise internally where we have taken the heat map of the critical stores in India and to have the right product assortment and placement at that space. So and also there are many pet stores which are doing a lot of events per se, let's say pet cafes or some sort of pet bonding activities. So how do we participate in these things so that the experiential aspect is enhanced, right? So overall, this is how I see brands collaborate in a retail space in this era.
That's amazing, amazing, Roshan. And honestly, I entered the category in 2016 when I joined Mars, and I think the retail landscape has transformed 360 degrees. I mean, and credit to all brands that are trying to play a part. Great, thanks, Roshan. Now let's move to our, stalwart entrepreneurs, I would say. Okay, and we have like I said, we have a very diverse group. So we have Kruti, who's joining us and started last year, with pet warehouse, and we have someone as popular and famous as Amir Ali, second generation of driving Shake Hands, which is one of the oldest retail chains in India, and Pets Empire. So I think we would want to hear your journey of running the business, and how has the experience been, and also some of the challenges that you've been facing as the industry evolves. So I would like to hear all of your views, because they're so diverse and all of them come from different parts of the country. So I think it'll be great to hear how it plays out in different parts of the country.
Okay. Hello. Thanks, Vishal. So like he said, I've just been here in this industry for the last one year approximately, but it's a constant learning for me. What I have learned in the last 1 year of running, the chain of stores, we've opened 3 new stores in the last 1 year. So the major things that we encounter when we are opening stores is getting the staff, getting the right staff, actually, not just getting the staff, because pets are such an integral part of a parent's life, or the pet owners and the pet parents' life, that you have to make sure that all your staff are aligned to the vision that you have and are empathizing with the parent and their pets. So that's one of the major, getting staff is okay, but getting the right staff with the right mindset, with the right hands, with the right information, that is one. What we do is at Pet Warehouse is that every new staff is educated. He is trained in whether it is at a store level where he's trying to, sell our products, or it is a groomer or a grooming assistant. They go through a very strong 1 month, 2 months, even if it needs 3 months, training with the senior groomers, and then they are budding up for the next 2 months. We don't just leave them there, so that they make sure that we don't have any incidents per se, and every pet is handled with care. When it comes to products, what we believe in at Pet Warehouse also, and I think is the right thing to do, is to make sure that the customer is educated around what their actual pet needs. It's very easy to sell a new, nice fancy looking things, but does your pet actually need it? What I have seen is a lot of pet parents do not know whether it is actually required for your pet or not, whether it is the right kind of treat, the right kind of food for your pet. So I think education is very, very important for the store people who are actually, because they are the ones who interact directly. It's not me or any of us who are going. We go once in a while to just see, but it is on a daily basis. It's the store staff who's actually interacting with the customers. So it's very important to make sure that they are educated and they are consulting with the parent to make sure the pet is getting the right thing, and not just because they want to do a sale. So
And
I think
Kruti,
that
any top challenges that you're facing? Because the industry, as we know, it is not as evolved.
Yeah.
Any top challenges that you want to call?
So I think that is where it is. Just getting the right staff, and and just then making sure that they are aligned to what you want your store to be. I think that's one of the major things that I have seen.
Great, thanks.
Thanks, Vishal. So, as you said, I'm a second generation entrepreneur. My father started in 1971, and it's been a long journey. A lot of people are witness to it, like Dr. Makrant and all. They have been in the journey with him in the journey around, and how the pet space has evolved from being just pet articles. When he, the one of the store that initially was as he mentioned, Varghese, 2010, I'm thinking 1971. So it's more than 40 years back. So the Gen Z is, I'm saying, of Gen X, I would say. Yes. So basically there it was 80% pet articles, some little bit dog chews, which were raw hide made. That was the only food available. And I've seen that transformation. I used to, as a kid, go to the shop sometime. Our dad will take me and stand there and see. It has evolved from there. And the major factor which has contributed to this evolution is big hands to them is the pet food companies like Mars and Purina, which have bought that knowledge and pumped in that money and shown what is the vision out there. It was already out there in other countries, but to bring it in India and to show that trust. And it was not the companies that bought in, it were the importers that took, the distributors. The entrepreneurship was by the first step is always by a distributor. Companies will say, oh, if it is this much market, then only I will enter. But a distributor will take that challenge, okay, I'll grow up to a certain level, and then the company comes in. So it is always been evolving. And after 2010s and 14s, and now we have e-commerce coming up and all those space. So it has completely evolved, and it's still evolving. We are if you can see, Amazon entered the space in 2013, and it's completely transformed how the e-commerce industry has worked. It entered India in 2013 and it has transformed completely. And as Kruti mentioned, one of the challenges that also would like to, educating the staff on the space. So we are all saying educating the parents, pet parents, educating the staff. But how are we trying to solve that problem? That's a big question. We educate the retailers, we are the owners. I'm not going to sit at the store, right? It's the staff. How are we making that, putting that effort by the industry who are leading this? How are we making that effort? D2C communication, Instagram is 30 seconds. How much retention do we have? We don't read more than a minute. Even if you see news articles, we just read the headlines and move on. There is no capture. That capture is not there. So how to make it as an activity rather than just an event, Instagram reel and all? How do we educate the parents? so that they know. Still we have a top store in Sobo, one of the top stores. Even the richest customer, oh, pink wala bag de dena. What do you mean that pink wala bag? They won't even remember the brand, forget the brand, forget that what kind of food, they just remember the color of the bag. And therefore you see all the pets, Royal Canin, they have different colors for the bag. So that the customers don't have to remember the brand, brand and oh, pila wala bag dena, we understand it's pedigree. So that's the kind of mentality, that's the challenges that we are facing. That's one challenge, pet parent and the pet store staff. They they are here there not because of passion, they are there because they want to earn some money, right? Passions we have. How do we make sure they have that passion to go beyond that little and to go about it? So that's where the two challenges as a retailer we feel that we need to work towards it. As a retailer, we are tied down in cycle of buying and selling, buying and selling. But it is the industry leaders who have to crack this thing to take it out. That's my 2 cents on it.
Absolutely. No, I think what a great perspective. So we've heard two of them talk about a challenge that the first panel essentially did not address or did not talk about, is the training of retail staff. Okay, so something for brands to also see how we can partner. Let's hear from Mayank.
I would like to continue with both, but I differ in a way because for me, starting my first retail in 2018, then it was a halt for the COVID period and all. Then we are up to 7 outlets now in the current moment I'm sitting. So the first one and the last 6 one have been pretty different. And everyone talking about e-commerce coming in, Amazon coming in, Flipkart coming in. They will all come in gradually. You cannot stop them. So for me, how I bifurcated these was, for me, retail is an experience, which you cannot get online. And online e-commerce is discounting. So what relations I have made in retail with the customers that walk in has helped me grow from 1 to 7 personally. So as we said, customer walks in, he doesn't know, he knows a pink bag. But what we are trying to do is, we try to tell him what is inside a pink bag and what is inside a black, blue, yellow bag. So what we are trying to tell our customer is, see, there are hundreds of shops here now. It's growing. You'll have 100 more. But how do you stand out in your area? Because e-commerce, aaj ek website kholo, you can serve India, you can serve the worldwide. But a local pet shop in an area has a reachability of about 5 to 7 kilometers, I would say. So that customer, if he has to come back to you, has to be an experience. It cannot be that old shops, I'm not saying someone was bad, but it cannot be. It has to come in, he has to feel fresh, he has to be greeted, he has to have that educated staff, which we cannot just tell him. And the first question that you asked, brands collaborating with retailers, retail space. I personally recently, have been approached a lot by Drools, for example, pushing in promoters. So they have tried to do that by the promoters in my shop, educating the customer and taking the sales, kind of a thing. So Royal Canin comes in, sir, can I do the branding? So I like the branding about them is something like they put out the nutritional values. So that helps my staff to actually stand up and tell them the difference about the color of bags and tell them that this is what you should buy. And then we leave it up to the customer to buy. So as a retailer, I cannot stoop down to the discounting level which e-commerce does. See, I do e-commerce as well. But to maintain that, we segregate it very nicely with experience and discounting. Pet and a customer, pet owner coming to the shop, he is educated. There won't be, a thing. So if you educate him right, in the right way and tell him what's best for him and leave it up to him, he would come back to you.
Great, Mayank. No, absolutely, can't agree more. Just help me understand. I mean, I know, the challenges are coming out very clearly. Anything that, you would have in terms of expectations from the government? I mean, this is a forum where the voice is, collectively, coming out to address larger issues. So, and you guys are different, businesses spanning across different geographies. So anything you think
See, I
on
am
that?
from Delhi based. My retail experience in Delhi, I will speak from there. So there are times once in a year, once in 6 months, where there are local bodies coming in asking for licensing and different certifications. Or we had this era, or I would say a period of month, 2 months where PFA was quite active and they're asking for itna bada shop hona chahiye. Where are the exhaust? We are all trying to maintain that, but I find it difficult to find it. Where is it written down? There's no Bible to it.
So is it very challenging also to meet these expectations?
It is. I mean, we have our minimum shop is around 1,000 square feet. I don't have anything below that, and maximum I have around 2,800 square feet of a shop as well. But where do I go, or what body do I go to have those rules to actually follow them? You understand? If you tell me, man, you go to this website and there are 10 things that you follow and you're all done, where do I go? I have not found a person who could answer me telling me, go to this place or there's this Bible or buy this book, read it, follow it, and there will be no problems from the government.
Wow. I think let's hear also from Kruti and Amir Ali if you know.
Yeah, that's
it's
one of
similar.
the things that even we faced, and also that every time this is what I feel, that every time the government is also evolving. They are coming up with new कि ये नहीं किया है आपने अब ये करो. फिर 6 महीने बाद they'll come, oh no, you did this, but this was also supposed to be. Why you did that? Now you will put penalty and all. So I think, like he said, one standard, there you have a checklist that you tick, 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 and you're done. If there is an involvement, they have to communicate to us to say कि भैया ये सब हुआ है, now you please follow this also, and we are done. Every time, every 6-8 months you come, the Labour Party will come, then the shops and establishment will come, ये वाला, PF will come. Randomly they'll say, आपके पास now you have, 6 stores, you have 6 into 6, 36 people, where is your PF, where is your PT? I mean, we know it, we are already doing that. It's not that we are not doing it, but certain things where you cannot keep evolving and keep telling us and giving us challenges to do it. So if there is a standard done, none of us are disagreeing to the fact that we won't follow it. All of us are ready to follow it because we also want to just run the business smoothly. These are all hindrances for us as well. So I think, yeah, I agree to what Mayank said. And
it's not that they'll stop.
Yeah.
Like things are evolving, rules will change in every sector, every industry.
But it needs to be more
least
organized.
As I personally feel, I've spoken to Binoy as well sometimes. There's Dr. Guru Baksani who keeps putting in a lot of people. I don't want to name a few, but a lot of people. But why can't we have one set of body which actually stands for the retailer who is making the business for all the importers, exporters, manufacturers, everyone. So we can go and tell them, hey, I have a problem, knock, knock. Is there a solution to it? If not, we'll together find a solution.
Absolutely. No, I think brands have a role and probably can raise this voice in the right forums as they are connected with the ministries and the government. So yes, I mean, absolutely with you. Any different in Mumbai, Amir Ali?
Government as any other business, there are some challenges. They are there to create challenges for you. It's actually there. Because they don't create challenges for us, we won't follow it. So it's like a teacher-student thing, and it's a part of the game. We take it in the stride. But yeah, as Mayank mentioned and Kruti, there is no centralized place, but where is centralized space for anything? There is no. Like if you follow one rule, you will be violating other 10 rules. That's the way it is. So it is evolving over a period of time. But yeah, it's a part of the game. We take it in the stride and no complaints.
Yes, absolutely. But I completely agree. I think we need to simplify this. I think the industry is at a nascent stage, and this is the last challenge that you would want, pet specialty retailers to face. So I think some insights there. All right, coming back to Roshen, let's hear a brand perspective on how are you now looking at, so the retail environment has evolved. Like a few years back, you did not have e-com, you didn't have cube-com, you didn't have a lot of, omni-channel wasn't a reality as such. So as a brand, how do you manage all these channels? What's your top line outlook on how do you manage these channels? Is your offering different for each of these channels, or how do your views on that?
Yeah, good question, Vishal. I'll just take a point to the previous question. I'll just quickly wrap it up. I'm just summarizing that. See, if I am an entrepreneur, budding entrepreneur, there should be a system wherein which, let's say, if Mr. Mayank in Delhi, Mr. Amir Ali in Bombay, and Kruti, if they want to operate or start a store somewhere else at a different part in the country, also should have a seamless process. So Mayank would be very familiar with the Delhi process. Mr. Amir Ali would be very familiar with the Bombay process. So while creating a process, it should also look at the larger picture of having a simple one nation sort of process, which as a, like you mentioned, as brands also will push it to the ministries. Coming back to your question on how the channels have evolved and what is our perspective and what are our offerings per se, see, I very strongly believe that before coming to the offerings bit, the brand-driven content has to be same across channels. Okay, you can't have a brand philosophy at an omni-channel level, at a retail physical store level, and an e-commerce level. So your brand content philosophy, what it stands for, has to be same. You don't want to confuse your customers, and we want to be there where the customers are going. Ultimately, they are the decision makers, so we won't be restricting ourselves to any particular channel per se. That's my first point. Now, when I say brand-driven content, let's say if it is an educational, like how all three of them were echoing in terms of educating the retail staff, which we address, which we understand is of paramount priority. And when we are doing that, there's a conversation from the brand which is going on. Parallelly, let's say if we are doing a webinar or an e-com sort of conclave, there's the same brand content which goes on. So that's the first thing which we adhere to. Second, we can also look at customizing few of our maybe products or offerings at a channel perspective per se. Let's say if it is an e-commerce platform, and if you want to have an exclusive brand or a particular product offered for them, that's something which we work very closely across. For instance, Dr. Makrand is there, and other senior veterinarians and doctors are there. So we have a very channel-specific product, because as a pet parent, I might go to a pet shop for a particular reason, I go to a clinic for a particular reason, like how Mr. Satinder was mentioning. So do I have a customized offering at that particular channel to cater to what the pet parent needs? Yes, that's something which we actively work with the veterinarians, the e-com partners, the retail partners per se. So that's how I see. But having said, see, seldom we see staffs sticking long with retail partners. For me, educating and re-educating them is of vital importance. And because those packets behind those guys, these are the guys who are going to speak for you when you are not there, right? So keep educating them, take initiatives, and in some way partner with these channel partners in terms of incentivizing them. So I look at it in that way. And from an offering perspective, we also have options of customized products which we look at channel-wise. We deliver them, yeah.
Great. Maybe just one small build and just to get your views. As the channel is evolving, standalone stores are, and some of them are probably not as equipped or are not as resourced. How do you look at growing with them? I mean, as a brand, what's your take on that?
I wish I knew the answer. That's something which we have been trying to figure out for ages. But having said that, see, there are some fundamental critical challenges what brands face in this sphere or in this industry, especially when it comes to standalone stores. Let's take Bombay as a city, for example, where you have very, very limited space constraint is one of the biggest challenge. So all brands are vying for that particular bay. And that becomes even more challenging for brands or products which are new entrants into the system. So how do I convince my channel partner? So that's what I believe. See, I'm from an FMCG background, transitioned into pet care. What I prefer of paramount priority in this industry is building relationship is key. It's very key. I'm not denying that it's not required in other industries, but in this industry, it's of really important. When I say building relationship, you heed what the retailer wants, the independent store wants, what are their understanding of the brands, and you try to cater to that. Along with that, you also, be present in forums where there are retailer partners are coming in present. Let's say, for example, an IPID or an IAPTF. I'm looking forward to meet a lot of my channel partners as well. So it shows that the brand is taking an initiative to hear them out, to understand them, and to continue with them. So addressing my limited space challenges with my channel partners, which gets resolved through building relationships, is number one. Second, I feel you should have the right packaging, presentation per se. If you have a physical store, but your packaging, I think it was addressed in the previous panel as well, which does not stands out as an when the footfall comes into the outlet, and there's no eyeballs onto your packaging in terms of the right text, font, colors, ingredients, USPs, etc. That is something which we have to really work out. And third, I think the most important thing what we work with retailers, standalone retailers, or what we face as a challenge is in terms of the marketing support. Let's say the larger chain stores, wherein which we don't have the concerns of a space or any other challenges where we can work out with a promoter or XYZ activities, sampling activities, promotional activities, which independent stores, they're confined to their limitations. So how do I address it? Maybe instead of a weekly activity, I can plan it monthly once or twice. So how do I take in, see, I always believe my route to market is my biggest strength, right? Having the right distribution and the route to market. And people often tend to depend on just the Pareto outlets. We have to have that vision of moving, keeping the entire universe intact. So having the right distribution setup is a paramount priority, and addressing all these issues, which is a day-to-day work for us, is something what we do.
Thanks. Thank you so much. No, I think as brands, you have to play that role in ensuring that the overall ecosystem grows. And not just a few. The next question is a little tricky, and I want your top line views on it. Otherwise, we will end up discussing it, at length. So, discounting is a challenge, right? And we know e-com is here to stay. Quick com has just got added to the party, right? What is the right balance? I think it's something that we have to work with together. I'm sure brands have a perspective, and pet specialty retailers have a perspective. What do you think is the right balance? And some of you are also omni-channel retailers yourselves. So you're managing a store and you're managing a online store, which has slightly different shopper profiles, let's say. So your top line takes on what is the right balance and how can we make it work?
Right balance between?
In managing, this whole play of discounting, and how do you manage it, as you are running the business?
See,
Channel
as I
conflict.
previously said, I personally take both as a very different aspect. Retail is experience. So a customer who walks in to my grooming salon while he's waiting for it, and an educated staff, if he can, pursue that education back to him,
Bring value.
bring value. He's not a customer who wants a 5% extra discount. My brand is such, my retail outlet is such, that my customers are not more of discount oriented. My customer walks in with a happy face, he walks out with a happy face, with the right product that he really wanted. I won't disagree to the fact that discount does harm at a point, but if you are running a beautiful store with a beautiful experience, with an educated staff and a seamless experience for them, I think we have been at a win-win situation. That is the reason we have come from 1 to 7.
Great. I think elevating the whole shopping trip for that pet owner. Yes. And no right and wrong answers. It's here and it is going to be there. But yes, your views.
I think I'm with Mayank on this one because e-com is going to stay. We also have an e-com store and we run it. We run special discounts over there. We have quite a few discounts even at store. But what we've experienced is that the customers, when they walk in, they're not only looking at discounts. You have your discounts. Maybe we are giving 5% more than another store is giving, or we are not giving. It doesn't matter. When the customer is coming in, and the only thing that matters is the experience it gets. You know, if they've come for grooming and they've got a great grooming done, at the same time they've got a good educated sale over there where they've told, you've got that customer will come back to you. He will not go anywhere, he or she, you know. Then yes, certain things that are like, like something that is basic requirement for the pet, they will keep buying it. Whether they will go to an omni-channel, they might come to the store, they might even do it e-com, depending on their convenience. But that experience is here to stay. So that pet retail is here to stay. That experience, that emotion that they get if they bring their pet in, they takes a walk, suddenly likes a treat, the dog likes a treat, they pick it up. You can't take that away. So it's going to be there.
Absolutely, I think very promising.
New pet parent would rather want to go in the shop, take their education for at least the first 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, where until he thinks he knows everything about the kid or the baby that he got home, he won't want to buy online. I would never go for a young born child or a dog or a pet to just go and straight buy online because he sees the pedigree at a 20% discount. He'll buy pedigree. No, I don't think so. Every new pet parent walks in, asks you 100 questions, I answer 101 back, and he's mine forever.
So there is no one size fits all. Basically, definitely I would love to have customers who like to spend an hour at my store to understand the products and I can sell them at full value. But there are other set of customers who are just looking for discounts. And I wouldn't be surprised, I know everybody here would know, everybody has shopped on Amazon. So they will immediately go to Amazon and check it out, and if you are not offering that rate, they won't mind. So, okay, they will buy once, but repeat purchase will be not necessarily there. They'll get your education, but repeat purchase not necessarily will come there. But if they are coming for grooming, if you have built that special bond, special relationship, definitely what they are saying, it's good, worth it. But how many of them are actually sitting on the stores? If you want to scale to 100 stores or whatever, it's not possible that all 100 of them would be like interested in being there for lifetime. I personally suppose I own few stores, I will be personally sitting and building those relationships, in investing that much time in getting that, not giving that extra 5% discount, or I will say, okay, forget that, I'll give extra 5% discount, I'll open 10 more stores. So I have to make that choice, whether I want to limit myself to stores and not give less discount, or I scale it up at level, give more discount, it's okay. At the end, I'm getting net same value. So that is a choice as an entrepreneur you have to make, whether you want to take this route, whether you want to take that route. I know what e-commerce have taken, I know what traditional space has given. Omni-channel is struggling to find where to look into that. Because suppose a customer walks in, I'm giving a good experience, he'll go into my website. Online customers are getting 10%, 15%, why are you not giving me? Now what response do I give to him? Okay, you buy online. What he'll do is he'll buy online there and say, give me delivery right here. So omni-channel has this challenge or space to look into, which struggling to find. E-commerce has the answer to it, traditional space has the answer to it. So that's where we are challenged. It is evolving, it will grow. But as we have to, as both of them mentioned, like, Kruti and Mayank both, we have to bring that additional services into our stores, like grooming, other stuff, so that they walk in and they spend that time. If I'm just coming to store to buy a product, I won't stay there more than 5 minutes. But if I'm coming for grooming, I will have an hour to sit. And most of the pet parents, they don't send the pets, they personally come with them. And that's where they experience the store. So that's where it lies the answer. You have to build on services as well as physical space. If you're purely physical, it's very difficult to give that experiential environment.
Just briefly add one point to that. This from a brand lens, right? So this is something which we hear, all of us hear on a day-to-day basis, channel conflict and stuff like that. I think from a brand lens, what we fundamentally look is two aspects. One is to have a very clear, transparent pricing policy. Okay, your pricing policy has to be crystal clear in terms of whether it is online, offline, e-com, whatever it is, and it has to be clearly communicated to all your channel partners. So that education, which goes from your end, from a brand's end, to your channel partners, that these are my pricing policies, and this is what I stand for. Because offline stores also, like how the others were mentioning, works on an MOP, right? There's a market operated price, and there's a slight discount which goes in the other channels as well. So how do, as a brand, I have a transparent pricing policy and communicate my communications, what I stand for to the channels is of paramount priority. Second is on having a shared inventory basis, right? I can't prioritize, let's say, ultimately, like how we all keep the pet parents the pets and the pet parents at the nucleus and make our decisions. So to have a shared inventory when it comes to channels, I can't maybe just prioritize X channel over Y. Ultimately, where my customers are going, I need to be present. So I need to have an inventory system which has to be shared as per what my customer trends are going on. So.
Great. No, thanks for adding that brand perspective as well. It helps. Um, One last question on this panel. I know this is such an interesting topic and we can keep going on. And I just want one input from you. Uh, we know that, collaboration will help, okay, between brands and retailers. Tell us one area that you think is your, best pick, which is that one area of collaboration that between brands and retailers can benefit the whole equation. Training, education, we spoke about a lot of things. So one area where brands and retailers can collaborate to give a better experience to the pet owner.
I don't know for everyone, but for me, promoters has worked, to be honest. Because if there's as I've been saying, I've been giving an experience in my store, so my customer is happy coming back, regardless of discount. Maybe I'm lucky, but it has happened for me.
Got it.
So for me, a nice branding where there is content in not a biggest of ways, but to push that product, that.
Okay. So brand support in
100%
promoting the
said,
product. Yes. Kruti, how about you?
Yeah, I think that is one. What I would like to add is where, when the brands are coming to educate the staff regarding so that one, to give them the actual education rather than pushing sales, a lot of times we've seen that a lot of, it's not very visible, but what we see is that every time a brand comes in to the store to promote, they are pushing only sales. And that is because maybe that distribution, that channel, a person has a target to meet. So they're trying to push, you sell my product kind of stuff, which at the end of it doesn't solve the actual problem, You need to educate them, tell them the right way, what is it in your product that would, then the sale will come immediately. So I guess that's one thing that
educating your staff, essentially, on the product.
Converting more pet parents from feeding home food to dog food.
Yes, and it
will change a lot of our, transition anyway. For my knowledge, it's like 7 to 9% of the people are only feeding.
Yes,
so
that's right.
If you convert that to 40, everything is solved
make
for
the pie
everyone.
bigger for
let
everyone.
it be discounts, let it be retail, everyone will be a win-win.
Absolutely. Any last builds, Amirali?
So as I had mentioned, like training the staff would be a key, because the staff that usually we get, like in the range, who are mostly BCom graduate, they are not nutritionists, right? So you have to come at their level, because what a pet parent coming to a store and a BCom guy giving him suggestion, buy this food, it's not going to work, because who is coming to the store is more educated than the guy who is giving this. Earlier it was a different scenario, 20, 30 years back, where brands used to back up on retailers to sell the food, because the retailers were more educated. There was no digital media, there was no knowledge. The customer newspaper, there were no articles saying, okay, this is the kind of pet food. There was not that knowledge available. So the retailers were the king, and okay, brands said, okay, you sell this food, this is the thing, and they do it. Now the information is everywhere. They are more knowledgeable than us. They will do 100 research before coming to us. And this BCom guy is telling, madam, ye food. Is he going to believe it? No. Because here as a retailer, what I think, we are there to provide service. We are not here to sell the product. We are here to provide the service, so that, and availability. What I mean by service is availability of the stock, giving at the right price, reaching them in right time. These are the three things we are looking at. We are not here to sell a particular brand's product. That is the brand's responsibility to educate the customer now, which earlier the retailer did, because it was possible, but now it is not possible. Now they are more educated. So educating the staff so that at least they are at par, not below, that would be really helpful. And reaching out directly to the customers, educating them about the product, so they come to the shop and say, why don't you give me this Royal Canin medium adult? And then I'll pick it up and give. Why don't you give me this Drools product? And I'll pick it up and give. Not give me which dog food is better in this price range. That time is gone. So we have to go more. So move ahead and look forward.
Yes. That's experience talking. I some lovely insights from all of them. We don't want to leave them to not answer your questions, so we'll pick up a couple of questions. Yes.
Hello, good morning. I am Ruhi Kulkarni Kale. I'm a certified dog trainer and behaviorist. And my question to you is there's been a lot of discussions about training the employees and the right fit with the employees. But with the growing importance of the mental and physical well-being of the pets nowadays, how important do you think it is to integrate trainers when it comes to stocking products in your retail brand? And do you think that there needs to be a little increase in the collaboration between trainers and behaviorists and the retail stores? Thank you.
I'll just answer it very crisp. We don't sell dogs at our shops. I'll come back to yours. Training and behavior, I feel so. Once we opened our first outlet, I remember me trying to pour in more time to it. So we had people coming in and asking, do you have any trainer's number? So what I found difficult to support or educate or, coming back to your, for dogs or pets well-being or training and behavior, this also comes under a part in my experience as, educating the customer. We've been talking about educating our staff. So if you're educating the customer about feeding dog food, getting the right trainers, training your pet, it gives them a more simplified or a better experience with their pet at home. So there are times when a customer comes in, yaar, mera kutta bahut bhokta hai, iska kuch karna hai kya? We face that questions every time. So if that dog was well trained with a certified, trainer or a behaviorist, we won't have those questions, and that particular pet owner would have had a better time with their kid at home, making them a better, good life with the pet. So that's what I feel. It does help, and we definitely should to pump up the industry, not only in terms of discounting or, we should educate in terms of every aspect related to pet and pet parenting.
So I do definitely agree, and that's why pet parents in Mumbai are moving to cats.
Good one. One last one. Sir raised his hand.
Hi, my name coming up in India is really a big boom. And particularly this discussion of retailers has been really brilliant and very, very important for me to understand a few things. It's a kind of a learning thing for me. Like for example, my certain brands are there on my e-commerce platform. Say it is selling for 100 rupees. But I don't want like the e-commerce platform is, killing down that retail industry. That should never happen. So do you think, it's my question to you, like if I'm selling my one product for 100 rupees on an e-commerce platform, like it should be given to retailers, like you can sell maybe, for example, 90 rupees with good markup to you. Is this a...
I would not personally support that because you're killing the retailer in the end.
No, we
I
don't.
would have a little differentiation of the product. So have the product market fit. You can have, I might or might not take them. There's a brand meetup, sirf online bikta hai Drools ka. They're not in the retail store. So they have had that kind of a parity in terms of a co-brand, a second brand, or the selection of right SKU. So if you are trying to challenge selling on Amazon and a retailer sitting in, you can order or Swiggy, Zomato, or whatever you're listed at, so the ease and convenience of ordering there and coming home at a better rate would be more choiceable for any individual, for any product, chahe wo pet ka ho, chahe koi bhi ho. So having a difference in the selection of SKU would help, I feel. So you can have a different SKU there and you can have a different SKU here.
No, my question was that, like suppose one product is selling on e-commerce for 100 rupees.
Done.
As you said, for retailers, this is one of the challenge, like the products are available on e-commerce. as gentleman said, like आज आकर के वो ले लेगा, बाद में वो देखता है कि अगर सेम प्राइस पे या उससे सस्ता उसको कहीं दूसरी जगह e-commerce पे मिल रहा है तो शायद मेरी शॉप में नहीं आएगा. My point was that कि don't you think that we should have that lesson from your discussion that what we are selling at the e-commerce platform should be given to you at a good with a good margin,
But that
you
is
can
not
sell
been done.
at a better price than the e-commerce.
So I understand your point. You are saying e-commerce one rate and a retailer get a much discounted rate. But problem is omni-channel, like us. How will you distinguish between us? Our customers are sometimes ordering online, sometimes they visit the store. So like we will break that, it's a problem to solve. So I don't think so that strategy would work. And as earlier mentioned with the previous panel, Mr. Satinder and everyone out there, is that consistency across platform is a key. So that way it will affect your brand image if you're not consistent across platform. How you want to support retailer could be another strategy that you can discuss one-on-one with them. But consistency, price will be very important.
Just to add to that, what we see is the whole ecosystem should be preserved. We should not go for anything at a short-term sort of a strategy which will help us, but it should always be at a larger perspective from a brand lens is what I see. So the ecosystem is what needs to grow together, and we should take efforts in terms of growing that together per se.
If you're selling cheaper in a store, no one would buy you online. You'll be ending up listing for no reason.
See, our strategy
E-com is
is
also very smart, na? They will see कि इसका sale नहीं आ रहा भाई ये नहीं बेचना, side करो, and we will see that if वो वहाँ सस्ता बिक रहा है तो we'll not keep. As a retailer.
Basically brand creation के लिए जो strategy what people like me will think is to create a brand and make the product awareness that will be easy on the e-commerce.
Sir, one of sales like Big Billion Days or this Great India Festival, I understand that Amazon itself digs so much deeper, they burn out money as well. But parity, as everyone believes, in terms of at least 5-7% ऊपर नीचे फिर भी, then relations come in, then the experience come in as we speak about, then the customer come to me. If you're selling at 100 online or I'm selling at 105, I'm confident my customer will come in and buy it from me with that
So,
experience.
here's
But it
what
cannot be 100 and 120. फिर नहीं होगा.
No, absolutely, I think it's a fair question. Well, here's what we'll do. We have the panelists around for some more time, and we'll follow up. I'm sure there'll be more questions, so please use this time. All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Please hang back for the mementos.
Thank you so much for this lively discussion, very engaging, and I'm sure make the most of this time. They're around, all of us are around for some more time. So thank you so much, guys.
So thank you so much, panelists. So I request Mr. Makraan Chavan to felicitate our speakers. So we'll start with Mr. Vishal Mundhra, Mr. Mayank Satija, Mr. Amirali Charanya. I owe Mr. Amirali an apology for missing out on his intro, so I'll do it real quick. So, Mr. Amirali holds a Master's in Computer Science from Georgia Tech and an Executive MBA from the Indian School of Business. Please, everybody, give him a big round of applause. He was great in the session. Mr. Roshen Varghese. Miss Kruti Reddy.